Good morning. Actually, uh, so far buildings being rented is concerned, the Tamil Nadu Buildings Lease and Rent Control Act would come to play. As I already told, that there is privilege of statutory tenancy, even if there was an agreement for leasing out the superstructure for prescribed period. On expiry of period, the tenant remains statutory tenant. But now that act has been repealed, and therefore RLT Act was enacted and that come into force. Therefore, so far RLT OPs are concerned, the old law which was applicable and the Transfer of Property Act, lease, all the provisions of lease, Chapter 5 of Transfer of Property Act would apply for this RLTOP trial. Therefore, you should be very much read and understand the necessary provisions of this chapter lease. Lease is one of the transfer of property. A lease of immovable property is a transfer of right to enjoy such property, made for a certain time, implied or expressed in perpetuity, in consideration of a price paid or promised, or of money or share of crop, service, or any other thing of value, to be rendered periodically. That is definition of lease. Now, to understand the entire thing, I would like to refer the judgment. This is AR 2022 Supreme Court 5077. AR 2022 5077 Supreme Court, Indian Oil Corporation versus Sudera Realty Private Limited. There, Section 212, Order 20, Rule 22, Transfer of Property Act Section 11A about means property were discussed, and means property was granted. By analyzing the date of lease, the case seems to be very interesting because the High Court has categorized the continuance of tenancy in the same premises in respect of some floors and in respect of other floors, fourth and fifth, third and fourth floor, by calculating the date. That is much important. Those who are wanted to deeply know about the decision and ratio. But so far, young lawyers are concerned who are approaching All India Bar examination and judicial examination. I want to take you with two things. Number one, tenant by sufferance. Number two, tenants by holding over. Tenants by sufferance. Once lease comes to an end, erstwhile tenant becomes tenant at sufferance. That means tenant is liable to be evicted at any time. What is holding over? Holding over, Section 116 of Transfer of Property Act says, if on terms of agreement you are allowed to enjoy the interest of the property, and on expiry of that period, if the landlord continuously receives a rent without initiating any action to evict you, that means you are holding the tenant, you are holding over the tenancy. That depends upon the earlier arrangement of contract between you and landlord in respect of periods. So that is also very area you should understand. But for examination purpose, you must understand what is tenant at sufferance 108J and 111 of the Transfer of Property Act. The 108 rights and liabilities of lessor and lessee. Lessee may transfer absolutely by a mortgage or sublease the whole or any part of his interest in the and may transfer of such interest part may again transfer it. The lessee shall not by reason of only such transfer cease to be subject to any of the liabilities attaching to the lease. It's also complicated questions, so I do not want to disturb the young lawyers and the senior advocates and those who are really at home with civil law, particularly in law of tenancy. Kindly go through the judgment, very interesting. They have also discussed about the bar of limitation, Article 51 and 113, suit for means profits. So that was also they have discussed page number, para number 84, 85, 86. So you have to understand that lease is one of the transfer of property, enjoyment of transfer of right to enjoy such property, transfer of right to enjoy such property, right to enjoy. If you have a property, what all are the rights you may have to enjoy that property? If you are owning the building, you can reside and you can fix electricity, water connections and enjoy that. If it is a cultivating land, then you can cultivate whatever may be the crops you desire. If it is a land with grown trees, then you can cut off the trees and sell it for, or you can again plant trees. These all are your right in the property. Right to enjoy such property is leased out. That too for certain period, not for perpetuity. Perpetuity is unlimited. So that may amount a different transfer of property. So for your kind information, I want to go through this judgment completely. If you are interested in conducting RLTOP cases, for examination purpose, 106, 105 definition, 106 duration, and 107 how lease. So you can go there, rights and liabilities of lessor, and then question arises, notice. How to issue notice that waiver of notice to quit, that is 113. So if you want to evict anybody, you have to give notice under section 106. For agriculture land, there may be more than a month, 6 month notice. If it is other than the agriculture purpose, then 1 month notice is enough to terminate the tenancy. The problem was, if the cases which was coming under rent control authority, you have to go before the rent control authority, which power was conferred with the small causes court. But RLTOP is also being filed before RLTOP authorities, but appeal would rise to civil court. If this is not either coming under rent control, Tamil Nadu Lease and Rent Control Act, or under RLTOP, then you have to file civil suit by following the procedure contemplated under Transfer of Property Act. I hope you understand this. I may be very hurry because the judgment seems to be very tough to understand if the entire judgment is but very interesting. I have gone through the judgment, very interesting, because several stages were discussed by the High Court, and Supreme Court affirmed the ratio of the High Court and holding that there was a tenant at sufferance and continuance of tenancy in respect of some floors, in respect of other floors, and when what will be the date of continuation or the course of the agreement was also discussed upon handing over the possession. So that was also most important. So it will help you to understand the case law. Best wishes.